If you already have a donor-advised fund, you know the drill. Minimum grants, management fees, clunky interfaces that make you feel like you're filing paperwork instead of doing good. GoFundMe Giving Funds is built differently. Zero AUM fees, no minimum grant requirements, contribute cash, appreciated stock, or ETFs. Get the immediate tax deduction receipt, avoid capital gains, and grant on your own timeline. No one's telling you when or how much. Your fund is invested and growing until you're ready to give. And when you are, you can grant to your favorite nonprofits. Already have a donor-advised fund? Transfer it over. We'll cover the Daft Pay transfer fees. And here's what's unique. GoFundMe Giving Funds lets you grant directly to GoFundMe.org, getting cash to people in crisis fast. Backed by the #1 giving platform, investments held securely through Vanguard. Start your giving fund today at GoFundMe.com/giving. That's GoFundMe.com/giving. GoFundMe.com/giving. Tax benefits depend on individual circumstances. Consult your tax advisor.
This right here is Car Con Carne. I'm James Van Oslo, recording tonight from the Logan Square neighborhood of Chicago. It is a beautiful night to record in Chicago. It's like 45 degrees, beginning of March. Amazing. I have a fantastic guest on the way, but before I get there, I'd like to appeal to you, the city or suburban homeowner. How's your roof looking? You know, a new roof can add up to 7% to your property value, to say nothing of all the benefits you get on your utility bills with a new roof. You need to talk to my friends at Suburban Roofing and Siding for all your roofing concerns. Maybe you took some damage in previous storms. Talk to my guys. It's a family-owned company serving the Chicagoland area. We're talking Cook, Lake, McHenry, Kane, DuPage. You can trust their more than 40 years of collective experience. They warrant their workmanship for a lifetime, as long as you own the home. Their premium shingles are backed with a full 20-year non-prorated transferable manufacturer warranty. Not to mention, it's a green product. Call 224-677-6149 or visit them at suburbanroofingandsiding.com. That's the L right there. Car Con Carne is also sponsored by 90 Days in the 90s, a book written by Andy Fry about the Chicago music scene in the 90s, a scene that just exploded about 1 mile south of here, where I'm at right now on Milwaukee Avenue. Go back to those days, what days they were, all that music, all that pop culture happening, just exploding in and around the north side of Chicago specifically. Darby, the record store owner, heroine of 90 Days in the 90s, goes back to the 90s. She finds a way back. She finds the gray line, goes back in time to those days. If you had the opportunity, would you do the same? Maybe. 90 Days in the 90s, you'll tear through it. It's such an easy read, and it's a fun read, and it's something you'll find very familiar page to page. Go to 90daysinthe90s.com or buy it on Amazon.com.
It's Car Con Carne. Let's eat in the car. It's Car Con Carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Oslo.
Djunah is back with the band's second album, Femina Furens. The album is brave, it's raw, it's cathartic, it's gut-wrenching, it's fierce, it's vulnerable, it's jarring, it's scary. It's also fucking great. That right there, to my right, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or listening, it doesn't matter. That's Donna. Donna Diane from Djunah, my guest in the car. We're outside Enjoy in Logan Square.
We are.
We have never met face-to-face. I'm so glad you bought into this concept and you were willing to eat a burger with me right off Milwaukee Avenue.
In your car, yes.
Djunah, the new album is out. Empty Bottle on the 24th. It's a Friday night. Huntsman also on the bill. That right there is a show. That's it.
Yes, it is.
Game over.
You do not want to miss this one.
Game over. That's going to be a loud bar that night.
Yes, it is.
So, Donna, well, we should eat food. I mean, it's been sitting here for a while. Like I said, we're at Enjoy. You got the Enjoy burger. No cheese, no mayo.
That sounds like me.
And I got a grilled cheese.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm a 10-year-old boy at heart, Donna. Grilled cheese with waffle fries and tomato. And you got the good old-fashioned.
I like the tomato.
Enjoy burger.
I just gotta eat. Sometimes you just gotta get the burger.
Absolutely. So feel free to eat as we talk, if you can. We last talked in April of 2021. This was pandemic time. We were doing a virtual interview.
Yes.
You were going through a lot. And at the time, I remember telling you, we talked a lot about your mental health and what you were going through at the time. At the time, I said, I owe you a proper music interview.
Yes, you said when the album comes out, we'll do it.
And here we are.
And we did it.
I made good on that also. I really wanted to do it. But the headline I remember writing for that podcast episode was Trauma, Struggle, Treatment, and Hope. Djunah's Donna, Diane. And here we are.
Yes.
That interview was done at a time when you were at a very scary low point. You were wrestling with the impact of complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Today we're talking about that same thing, only in a different way, through the songs on your new album. I've got both records here.
Oh, you have both.
I've got the visual aid. Femina Ferenz, right there. So we're going to talk about all the same stuff, but musically. And I brought the other one too. I brought everything to show and tell.
You were prepared.
I brought the
I
discography
appreciate it.
with me. Let's start with the album. Femina Ferenz, Furious Woman.
Yes.
You had a lot to work through, hence the fury.
Well, the title is, I actually came across it because it's sort of like a pejorative term for women. I came across it in actually researching this artwork that I love. It's this late 19th century print called the Acid Thrower, and it's this. Oh, I even wore the dress today. This is so funny. I have this really witchy Victorian dress that kind of reminds me of this print. But anyway, I was researching it, and it was about these acid attacks that occurred throughout Europe in the late 19th century, where people were just throwing acid in people's faces constantly. It was like a rash.
Are you
acid
also
attacks.
aware that's how Two-Face became Two-Face in the Batman comic books?
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
Was it in the late 19th century? I can't remember.
It was mid 20th century.
But it was sensationalized as a women's crime. Later on, they went back into the actual police records, and it was people of every gender were doing it equally. But there was these very sensational trials of these femme fatales who were meeting you in the alley, jilted lovers, and gonna throw acid in your face, sort of a thing. So it was just kind of my way of talking about that, how women's anger is often treated as this other thing, that it's just it's a character flaw to be angry as a woman. Ooh, do we have to pause for the L going by, or are we okay?
I think it's a lovely environmental sound.
It is. This is pure Chicago.
Yeah, it grounds us in where we are. We're clearly in Logan Square, right off Milwaukee Avenue. That's the blue line right there.
But yeah, to me, this was just I've always had this kind of dysfunctional relationship with my own anger. It's hard for me to process it because there's just so much cultural bullshit around women not being angry, and that it's there's this special kind of hurt that comes with a woman's anger, which is just complete cultural bullshit, and that's what the album's about.
Sonically, you have the same team engineering and mixing the album. That said, this album feels much, for lack of a better way of saying it, fuller.
Yes. Yeah. I did not hesitate to layer on this album. The first album, Ex Voto, is very as a band live, how we are. We might have doubled guitars, but that was it. There was no vocal harmonies, there was no layering synths or anything like that. It was, I just always had this thing about a live, being a live band, and really not if you're a good band, you shouldn't cover that shit up with a bunch of other bullshit. You should represent who you actually are. However, when the pandemic happened and live music went away, that really, that changed how I thought about that. And this was the first time I really sat down and wrote an album for the record, and I just told myself, I'm going to do whatever the record needs. I'm going to layer whatever it needs, and then I'm just going to reverse engineer it for live and hope it works out. And it did.
I'm going to say something that sounds like a backhanded compliment, but I swear to you, it's not. This new album is not a first listen record.
Yeah.
And again, it may sound like a backhanded compliment. It is not. Some of my favorite albums are those that when you listen the first time, you realize there's something going on there. and then you listen again and again, and then it gets inside you, and that's what this new album does. And I mentioned it's all these things. It's abrasive, it's emotional, it's personal, it's sometimes uncomfortable. I mean, the first track, the first like minute-long track on the album is really uncomfortable to listen to. And that's the statement you're making, and it really, once it kind of settled in, it really took hold. And it's the kind of album you want to spend more time with the further you dig into it.
Yeah, you're not the first person that said that. Like, I've gotten
Did
that
I say
feedback.
it better at least?
I've gotten that feedback from like other people that they're like, I'm gonna need to take several listens to this. Like and not in a bad way either. Just like I'll just be fully real. There's a lot of stuff going on this album. Like I could probably talk for like an hour on each songs about like all the creative decisions I made, the meaning of the lyrics, like how it relates to everything. There's stuff I don't even understand about this album, and it's not even that long of an album, which is the funniest part. But
on Bandcamp, on your Bandcamp page for the album Femina Furens, you write, Djunah is an independent project made with lots of love and hard work. Thank you for your support. Innocent enough statement, and it's true. But there's something different about you and Djunah. I feel like you work harder and you do more. Like I feel like obsession is the wrong word, but I feel like you are possessed.
I mean, this is me. This is definitely like me on a plate. Like there's, I've thought about that. Like, some artists, it's like there is a very, very healthy separation between who they are as a person and then like a persona that they've created for their music, and that works. And for me, that's just something that's just like never worked for me. This is very, like, especially this record, this is just very me. This is very, it's personal for me, and it is like integrated with my life, basically. Like we were talking just before this about like, I have a job I have to do for money, but it's like, how can I make this art project like a sustainable part of my life?
Yeah.
And do everything that I want with it and still have like, a functioning life.
Well, even with the merch, when you put the record out, you made 25 chapbooks with original poems imprinted with a scented wax seal, hand-stamped, made with the essential oils you used while writing. I mean, I'm not seeing Lollygagger do that.
Yeah, I mean, that was just like, this is so, especially this album, this is like me welcoming you into my fantasy world. Like, this is like me, yeah, just like really, I think through like really understanding my, like, having this trauma disorder, and I've just like come to know myself so much better. It's just like, it's almost second nature to just like start sharing this stuff and like do these like weird things.
I love it. They're not weird. They're just artistic expressions.
Yeah.
And you book your own shows, you sing, you songwrite, play guitar, your leg plays bass. You take on a lot.
Yes.
So let's talk about seven winds of Sekhmet.
Yeah.
Sekhmet is she who is powerful?
Yes. She is the ancient Egyptian goddess of healing and war.
A creative and destructive force.
Yes, I love those mixed goddesses that are like, two opposites at the same time. And she's just like, when I started writing the song, it was like I had the words like the 7 winds thing, and I'm like, what is this 7 winds? I could think about it as the casino.
Some of the lyrics floating in your head and you just couldn't.
Yeah, like when I write, like sometimes I'll just like drone out on like whatever I'm playing and just like repeat it for 20 minutes, and then I'm like doing it loud, I'm doing it quiet, I'm doing it, arpeggiated, I'm doing it distorted, like blah blah blah, and then I'm like repeating the same. I'll just like, some words will come into my head and I'll keep repeating them, and then it was like really digging for like, what is this song even about? And I found, just tangentially reading about this goddess, I was like, oh my god, this is about this
It's perfect.
segment. And yeah, she really became like the core, like defining, personality for the album, I'd say.
Well, for sure. And the video is tremendous. You created basically like a warrior outfit.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
I mean, it's a powerful look. The video is full of all kinds of sun imagery, raw.
Yes.
Gorgeous colors.
Yes. Dave Rentowskis, who directed it, did such an amazing job. I can't even believe we like pulled this thing off. It looks like a Hollywood thing,
It does.
we just like did it on like a DIY budget. I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, I
how.
mean, you created your own costume.
Yes, yeah. It took me like 2 months of like. This was another thing that I'll just get these like images in my head, and then I'm like, I have to figure out how to make it.
It's easier to make it than to tell someone.
Yeah, well, I don't know if anybody would. I
Fair. I don't know who'd
how to
make that
make
costume.
it.
Yeah.
Like I just like I kind of like made it up, like how to like craft this thing. I feel like I want like a second life as like a costume Hollywood effects prop person. I feel like I'd be really good at it.
Well, the video is highly memorable. There's a scene where you basically go to town on, is that forbidden fruit?
Yes, it's like, so for people who haven't seen it, it's based on this like 1970s basically illustrated comic that actually appeared in one of the first editions of Heavy Metal magazine.
Got it.
And it's like a retelling of the Eve myth, but it's kind of inverted in the sense that it's like this just she's like this warrior space babe that like, you know, the Eve story is she like takes a bite of the apple and then like destroys everything, and this is, you know, instead of me destroying a bunch of fruit and then giving birth to a new world.
That's what I was going to say. You become pregnant with the world.
It's like instead of destroying the world, she becomes the creator.
What was the fruit made of?
Jell-O. Oh my God, this was like a prop like thing where I was like, how am I gonna what is this fruit that I'm gonna be eating? And then I was like wanted to put these like space LEDs in it, so I'm like, I guess it has to be like clear Jell-O, and it was like unflavored gelatin. It is the most disgusting thing I've ever eaten in my life. But it was one of those things. I have a video of myself at home like trying to eat this stuff and just like being like, this is so disgusting, like how am I gonna do this on the camera? But I was so determined to make this. I was like, I'm just gonna fake it. They put a puke bucket next to me, and I would just like eat this fruit and like pretend I love it, and then just like spit it all out in this like Home Depot bucket.
In summary, this song was the right one to lead with as a single. Like it just tonally, everything about it just it fits.
It's one of my favorites on the album. It's so much fun to do live. It's a big. Vocally, it's just a huge song.
So much of what we talk about with Djunah is you. You're the songwriter, singer, guitarist. Your leg plays bass. That said, I think it's fair to mention Jared's drums on Hallway.
Oh yeah. Well, Jared's drums on the whole album. He knocked it out of the park. Yeah, Hallway is fantastic. I love the ending of that song, especially. Yeah, he knocked it out of the park and in not that much time too. So kudos to him.
Was this quickly recorded, or was it just his parts were?
Well, so I had the album like written with drum loops, and probably Jared and I probably only played together for like 3 months before we actually recorded the album. So he was like, I was looking for somebody who could just do like session work, and he was like, yeah, I can. He's like, this is right up my alley. I can do this. And so, yeah, he knocked it out of the park. So.
That's awesome.
And we continue to play together now. So
Again, Empty Bottle, end of the month in March.
Yes, March 24th. You don't want to miss it.
I will not miss it. Petting is probably my favorite song on the album.
Yes. It's adorable.
There's a badass guitar solo.
Yeah.
Keep bringing that back. And it should, as we were talking about arpeggiating and stuff, it should be mentioned you are an absolutely devastating guitar player.
Thank you.
And do you have people go to the shows for the music, and we all love Djunah's music, but do you have people who kind of nerd out and kind of like look at the pedals and what you're doing? Like,
oh yeah, definitely, because I'm the same way. Like I'm always like, if a band's setting up to get on stage, I am eyeballing their gear and like silently judging them. Not in a bad way, but like just being like, okay, like this is what I think you're gonna sound like. I love playing that game. And so like I think a lot of people are very interested in like when they're seeing the pedals come up, they're like, what's about to happen?
I love it.
Yeah.
I mentioned how hard some of this can be to listen to. Suicide, and not even like, just objectively, it's hard to listen to some of the stuff. Lyrically, Suicidal on Christmas is really hard to listen to. How does it feel to put a song like that out there?
You know, there's a point in the songwriting process, because I'll fully admit, like, probably every one of these songs I spent the early part of working on it, like, crying the whole time. Even, like, the heavy songs, they're so emotional for me. And even on Ex Voto, like, that's just part of my songwriting process is crying. But then there's some point in which I get out whatever it is I need to get out in the song, and then it doesn't feel as emotional. Now you guys have to deal with the emotions.
Well, yeah, I mean, some of the lyrics in that song or details are metaphorical or at least vague. But my rubber face could take a punch. Not vague.
No.
Not vague. That's and even title wise, as we're looking at songs like Grooming and Petting and Draw Your Own Conclusion, it just.
Yes, the ING songs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the album's really interesting because it's like, it was kind of divided. My initial thought was to divide it between the two sides, between like the ING songs all on their own side, but it just didn't flow that way. But yeah, the ING songs are all about my relationships with men and how those have been like affected by my trauma disorder, and the other songs are more about the disorder itself, I guess.
You said something I love hearing, that you really took care and time thinking about the sequencing of the album.
Absolutely.
I think it's a lost art.
Yes, and it's a thing that like I did not care so much about for a while, because I didn't used to enjoy recording that much. I loved playing live, but like records, I was like, records are just a thing you have to do, but I didn't love the process. And this was the first time I really fell in love with the process of like making a record.
You mentioned the ING songs. I want to talk about Raining, because when I listen to that, I perceive it as a statement on how men wrongly perceive women. Am I? Yeah,
so that song started as a poem, actually way back a long time ago when I got married. It's like the song is supposed to be like this. The poem is very like ambivalent about marriage, and like this idea of like getting married for a lot of women feels ambivalent, because it's like becoming a piece of property or something. That's often how like marriage is couched for women. I mean, it literally was like becoming your husband's property for a very long time. So that's why
they threw acid.
Yeah, exactly. That's why like there's a lot of pent up anger about stuff. But really like, so I had started this poem and I was gonna like ironically read it at my own wedding, which my husband has like the best sense of humor, but I finished the poem, and I actually just finished it for this album. And yeah, it's definitely like, I don't know, it's about like, as a woman, sometimes having to like embody this character of like somebody who enjoys being treated awfully. And I don't know how to explain that any way other than any woman listening to this knows exactly what I'm fucking talking about.
Talking about album sequencing, Softwood Circle ends the album. It sure seems like the appropriate song. I'll Be On My Way. Now, you throw yourself into the vocals. I mean, you are all in on every song you sing. I think especially so on this one.
There's that big high note that I hit, and I was so scared about doing that in the studio. So I was like, Kurt Ballou, who recorded us, I had like told him ahead of time, I'm like, I'm gonna have to do like 8,000 takes of this note. And so I was like prepping myself, and we just did it in one take. And I was like, I like blacked out while I was doing it, like I didn't quite know what I did, and then I was like, was that good? And he was like, we got it.
You sang so hard you like basically burst a blood vessel?
No, it was just like sometimes I'm just like so like if you just get like so in the zone and like so in the moment, it's like your brain just like stops encoding memories or something. I don't know how to like.
I kind of if this may be something different, but when I used to be on the radio, I would find myself talking on mic. And I'd realize that my mouth was moving and I was saying things, but my brain disconnected. Like I was aware that I was doing a show, but I wasn't like processing what was happening. I don't know if that's the same thing you're talking about.
It may be. It's just like, yeah, sometimes where it's just like you're in just like such a moment that, yeah. Once I had to audition for a TV show, even though I'm not an actor, they were looking for a guitar player for the show. And it was so stressful. That was another moment where I was playing guitar, but there's a hole in my memory that I don't remember the whole thing because I was so. There was just an entire room of people looking at me. It was one of the most stressful things I've ever done. It's different. It was different than being on stage.
Sure. Being
on stage isn't stressful for me like that. So yeah, I don't know. There's just certain. I don't know if it's related to like having a trauma disorder, but that happens to me.
Here's a question that you've probably never been asked. Would you consider doing a podcast? I think you have a lot to say.
Oh, I do have a lot to say, but what would it be about?
Being I don't know, an independent artist, getting a record out, dealing with the stuff you're dealing with, finding ways to express yourself, sending messages to other women. I don't know. I guess
that's true. I need like a partner though, like another like woman.
It's hard to monologue.
Non-binary person, yeah, to like.
I get that.
Somebody else with CPTSD, hit me up. We'll do a podcast.
I'm telling you, there's a lane for that. But I agree. Like I could never do this by myself. That's why it's an interview podcast. That's why you're here, talking about the new album. I feel this is a first on the podcast where we had food in the car and we didn't touch it.
Oh my God! I haven't eaten this whole time. Okay,
I didn't either.
I'm going to eat a fry.
No pressure. We're at the end of our journey, Donna. It's okay. You can bring it home. And I kind of thought it would be like this because I've been anxious to talk to you about this record, and we just got into it. And I didn't want to distract myself with a grilled cheese sandwich, but that's now a going home treat for me.
Yeah, there you go.
See, it all works out.
We all win.
Okay, the new album. I'll hold it up again. It is stunning. It is a gatefold.
Yes, it is. The photography is absolutely gorgeous. Light Witch out in Salem did it. We shot it like the day after we wrapped recording in Salem. And
Salem?
Yeah, Salem, Massachusetts.
That's witchy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just everybody knocked it out of the park on this album. Everyone who contributed to it did such an amazing job, and I'm just so proud of it.
You can get the new album, buy the record. I mean, really.
Yeah, but we're doing pre-order for second pressing now because I'm almost out of first pressing.
Are you really?
So.
That's amazing.
I know. I'm like hoping I have some to take on tour with me. But.
Are you still handwriting notes?
I am. Anybody who orders on Bandcamp, I'm handwriting a thank you note because I'm, like we were talking about before, this is like 100% independent, and I'm just so grateful to everybody who's supporting it because it's just like that's what I rely on to be able to do this. So it's just incredible.
And the great thing about Bandcamp, if you buy a physical copy of the record, you still get a digital download. Like you still get to listen to it however you want, but you also get the cool record.
Yes, yeah.
And the great thing, I love pre-ordering records, especially on Bandcamp, because usually you get them before the digital release. So I felt drunk with power that I had your new album before anyone could listen to anything else.
I love being able to do that, and then it's you can mail them out like a week or two before ahead of time.
Just drunk with power. Look at me. I've got the new Djunah. All right. Love the new album. I think this is fantastic work. It's powerful. It's emotional. It's another giant step forward for you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Empty Bottle on the 24th, along with Huntsman, who we love. Last we heard from Huntsman, they put out a record with a comic book in it. You can't go wrong with that.
I love great ideas.
Oh yeah, they're the coolest. I mean, prog metal, whatever they're doing,
they're awesome,
amazingly. All right, support Djunah, support her. Thanks to Enjoy for Food. And
thank you.
There it is. Thanks for watching Carcon Carne or listening.